even from the outset in the around 1888, Charles Martin Hall was concerned with safety, and Alcoa did a good job through the years. They were always a leader in the manufacturing area on their safety incident rates. But in the last 25 years, from 1987, the company has gotten an awful lot better. In 1987, Paul O'Neill was hired at Alcoa. Paul's the CEO, and those of you who know him know that he made his #1 priority safety. Clearly his #1 priority. Every time he talked, his first words out of his mouth were about safety. Every meeting, the first agenda item was safety. Even an annual shareholders meeting, the first words out of his mouth are, in the unlikely event of an incident, we're going to proceed in an orderly fashion this way. This is from the CEO. He had the first agenda item at the shareholders meeting, but also at the board of directors meeting. At every board meeting, they get reports ahead of time. Included in that report to the board is a health and safety report. At every quarterly review that a business unit president would have, and at that time we had 28 businesses, and they would come in quarterly for a review with the CEO. The first item they were expected to cover was safety. It wasn't finances, it was safety. Now, of course, they covered their finances, and they covered market share, and they covered everything else, but the first item was always safety, which was pretty good. And then Paul started to challenge the health and safety professionals. They're pretty good at Alcoa, but he challenged them to become better. He said, how can we give more focus and attention? And it was his idea to say, I want to know if somebody's hurt so bad they can't come back to work, and I want to know within 24 hours. So he required that. If anyone was hurt anywhere in the world so bad that they couldn't come back to work, he wanted a report on the phone. At the time it was phone. Now it's converted to your iPhone or your handheld phone. But he wanted to know within 24 hours who was hurt, why they were hurt, and what have you done about it. And then he would come to his monthly meeting of his leaders and ask them, what did you think about that incident that happened yesterday? And that kind of looked with a glaze and say, what incident? He said, okay, you're all going on this 24-hour report as well. And at the time, and they started to get that report within 24 hours. So we had a call list that the plant manager would call, not the safety manager, the plant manager would call and tell the CEO what happened. So that was raising safety to a pretty high level within the company. And then Paul O'Neill wanted to know, at any time, what is the lost workday rate, total recordable rate, how many medical treatment cases do we have at any location in the world? So Alcoa has what they call a real-time safety data system. And this was built just when the internet had come out. And he wanted it on the internet, he wanted it live, and he wanted it all updated within a 24-hour period. So every business unit was expected to do that, and they did that. So he could go on, and there's Alcoa. So you could see the lost workday rate is 1.86. You can click on Alcoa, all the business units come up. You click on a business unit, all their locations come up, and you can find out where the incidents were. Paul used to get to work early in the morning at that time, and when I was in charge of safety, I tried to get there earlier because I better get on that safety system because I'm going to get a call if there was an incident last night and we don't know about it. And sure enough, if he didn't call me, he was calling the business president and finding out what happened and why did it happen and what are we going to do about it. Then he instituted the health and safety audit system. He put together the protocols, and we're going to follow these protocols at all the locations, and then I'm going to send auditors out and they're going to report it. And oh, by the way, I'm going to raise this audit to the level of the financial audit. Most corporations have an audit department that includes IT and finance, and the auditors come out and they audit for IT and finance, and that's it. Not at Alcoa. The audit department includes IT, finance, environmental audits, and health and safety audits. And if you fail an audit at Alcoa, you're going to go to the board of directors and explain why. And it's not just financial or IT. It's also environmental or health and safety. And you're going to go to the board of directors and explain what happened. If you fail 2 audits at Alcoa, your successor goes to the audit committee and explains what they're going to do about it. And that's true. And when people go to their plant manager training, for example, in Alcoa, and you learn what's important in Alcoa, and we've interviewed these people afterwards, they learn 2 things at those meetings, plant manager training. 1, don't fail an audit. Number 2, don't mess around with safety. And those are the 2 real strong lessons that you get, which is pretty good. When Paul O'Neill left Alcoa, people asked Paul, were you a success? Well, he was a resounding success in every area, in the financial area, shareholder value, and safety. But his answer was pretty interesting. He said, if the lost workday rate and total recordable rate continue to fall, long after I'm gone, I will have been a success. So I'd say if you look at that graph, he was a pretty good success. And that's a sustainability answer. It's the kind of answer that you really want in an organization. So he's very, very proud of that.